So maybe when we're ready, just lengthening out the legs and just lightly getting a little bounce at the knees. And then let's create some movement. So we'll just pull the knees up, drag the feet in a bit, and just start with a couple of simple little circles out in front. Whenever we're ready, we'll change direction for our circles. And let's explore in the hips. So for a moment, feel where the weight is on the sit bones. See if you can come forward, having the weight on we'll call it the front half of the sit bones rather than the back half. And to help us get there, I'm going to use our fingertips, help us move our torso forward a bit. And then kind of turn the knees outward. So when you move the legs apart, work through the thighs as well, helping just expand the distance, staying on the front of the sit bones. And just playing a bit with this. And then just soften the legs, and we'll just stretch them out long for a moment. We'll get the knees a little bounce. We're going to keep the legs out long, and we're going to do ankle circles, and we'll have the feet going in the same direction. Still keeping some weight on our fingertips and staying in touch with being on the front of the sit bones. Back and forth for our ankles. And then move the feet far enough apart that we can circle the feet in opposite directions. And then when we're ready, taking the legs wider apart again, just get the knees a little bounce. And then we'll do just one leg. So let's start with the right and just slide it across by the left and then pull the knee in, the foot close to the core, and then over and out on the right. We'll get one more circle. And then we'll let the legs stretch out. And then again, fingertips or, fist work. You get tired with the fingertips coming on the fists are good. And we'll skate the left over to the right. Our last one. And again, a little shake for the legs. We'll get a little bit of ankle rotation. And we're going to go back to the right leg, and rather than slide it to the left to begin, pull the foot in and then come across the center and down the left. And we'll get one more sweep. And that right stays wide. And then for the left, pulling it up and in and then down the right. And our last time. Just again, ending with a little bit of bounce in the legs. And then we'll come a little further back with the hands, and let's lean back a wee bit, pull the knees in and up, and then just starting to ease the legs one side then the other. And then try the feet a bit closer together. So we're not trying to drop the knees to the ground here. We're really just getting this rotation this produces through the hips and the low back. And then when we bring the knees up, let's just push out through the heels. So we got the legs long again. We'll get another little shake. We'll play again with our ankles. Take the legs wide. Okay, we'll start with the right leg. We're going to lift the knee and just drag the foot in, and then just let the leg relax there for a moment. And in this long moment, see if you can balance on your sit bones. And then we'll release the left leg, bringing up the knee, stretching it out. When we're ready, we'll lift the left knee, drag the foot in where you can put it, and then just release. And then go inside, balance on the sit bones, wherever the knee is. Knee's going to come up. We're going to repeat. Here we're balancing our sit bones. And we're going to extend the leg. And same for the left when we're ready. Let it release and balance in the sit bones. So we're going to go back to the right when we're ready to. Let the leg release, balance the sit bones, and bring the fingers more forward. So we're bringing ourselves more vertical, get that feeling of having come tall. And then we'll release the right. We'll try with the left. Just keeping the knee comfortable. It doesn't quite matter where it is or how high or low it is. We want to balance in the core. Knee comes up, and then we push out. And we'll do it one more time. So knee comes in, foot drags to where it'll go. And we'll extend out that right. And get the left to go. So we lift the knee, we drag in where we can. Just let the leg release. Okay, and we'll get the left out long. Knees get a bounce. We'll slide the legs together. We're going to bring the knees up and we're going to release forward. So we'll put the palms under the thighs. So palms to the ground, weight from the legs on the forearms, releasing the arms, the shoulders, just melting forward. And just letting the back take a stretch, just softening our back body. And then let's lift the knees. We'll get the hands out, take the hands wide, pull the legs in, and now let's cross the legs. So we'll bring the right in first, then the left. And we'll bring our hands forward. We'll let the weight of the arms rest on the knees. We want to give ourselves a chance to come tall. So always a couple of markers to look for, that the ears feel like they're lined up with the shoulders, reaching up at the back of the skull, and then some energy in our hips so we can feel like we're creating a little tuck at our tailbone. And once we feel that internally, let's circle our torso above our hips. As we create these circles, see if we can keep the weight of the arms on the knees. We're going to explore both directions. A little bit of back and forth. And then explore just a smaller and smaller circle. And at some point, we just naturally come back into our center. And we want to take a moment to feel where we are when we stop. Let the shoulders release. Feel whether or not we're vertical, adjusting, reaching up along the base of the skull. Nice long in-breath. We'll give ourselves a full breath. Take that out breath into the belly. We'll circle again, but this time let's circle from our diaphragm. So low ribs and moving the diaphragm circular around the spine. So the whole back needs to move and flow up through the shoulder blades and shoulders, up the neck, down the hips. And as we're exploring these circles, see if you can leave the weight of the arms on the knees. We want to give ourselves some bit more back and forth. And again, we'll just slow down and just come to our center and then explore our length. So feel the weight on the sit bones, create a tiny tuck at the tailbone, energy in the low belly, and then extend up, lifting the ribs up from the hips, reaching up the base of the skull. And when we're ready, let's take the shoulders in a shrug. And just working from the shoulders, letting the arms be released, reversing the direction when we're ready. And then pausing when you're ready in neutral, releasing arms and shoulders, lengthening up through the core body. Now let's take a rotation, a twist round to the right side. So breathing in, float the arms up. Breathing out, land the fingertips, right hand behind, left in front. Use the arms and shoulders. When it's time to breathe in, releasing, turning forward. Breathing out for the other side. And when we go to our left, that'll be our last time. When we're released, we're neutral, we'll land the fingertips out from the hips, taking our length, finding our tailbone, and then just lean the weight of the arms down onto the fingertips. And we take an inhale. Let's lift our left arm, put the right palm flat, leaning out over to the right, keeping the weight equal in our sit bones. And the inhale, coming tall. And when we're ready, we'll bring the right up, leaning left. Okay, so after the right arm, let's pause. And when we're ready, being tall, place the weight of the arms down onto the fingers and reach up between the shoulders, along the spine, sink down in the tailbone. Now we're going to go towards the knee. So an in-breath to float the arms up. Let's start with the right on our exhale, melting over. Letting the in-breath float us up, and the exhale for the other knee. So we'll do our last set. So after a left, we'll stay tall again. And when we're taking our inhale, let's float the arms up and forward, out from the shoulders, fingertips up. Push forward through the heel of the palm. Without leaning forward, we're going to rotate the arms, and then turning to the right, take the right arm back, elbow back, left palm forward, and then X over to the left. So that straight arm, just gently pressing through the palm, that bent arm, just contact the elbow, not straining, but just connecting to the place. And as we shift, as we land at a side, staying in touch with the flow of weight across our sit bones. Okay, we take that right arm to the left. From there, we'll just release forward. And at some point, we're going to breathe in, hands fold, arms go up. We come to breathing out, we're going to land our fingertips, and we'll just slide the palms forward, we'll melt forward. We need an inhale, we'll bring the hands together, coming up. And when we stretch forward, let's pause for an extra breath or two. And for the inhale, we'll bring ourselves tall, taking the palms up. So if we can have the ears between the upper arms, the chest above the hips, reaching through our fingers. Hands don't have to be touching, reaching up. And then on the exhale, release the arms, bend the elbows as we bring the arms down, take the palms flat, drop the shoulders, and then pinch the shoulder blades together, squeeze the arms back in toward the center, lift the shoulders up, drop the head back. So bring the shoulders up so the head can make contact with the shoulders. And then when you exhale, release the arms forward, round the back, let the chin tuck, push the spine back, round the arms. So it's like there's a big circle from the fingers all the way back into the back. Use an inhale, coming tall again. And we're again going to move the shoulders in and back and up. Shoulder blades pinch together, lifting, let the head drop back, looking up. And releasing with the exhale, taking the arms forward. It's like we're gripping a big barrel with our arms, letting the head drop forward. And then reversing with the in-breath, elbows bend, moving back. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the shoulders, rest the head back, lift the heart. And then with our exhale, reversing. And then for the inhale, what we'll do is just come tall, take the arms out to the side, land the fingertips. And just have a moment, feeling the length up through the core. And see if you can just rest the weight of the arms down onto the fingers. And let the eyes drop downward. We'll keep the face forward, the neck long. Let the eyes release, looking down. Okay, we'll switch legs. So bring the knees up. If you can take that left leg out, take that right leg out. We'll just adjust where the hands are. We get some support. And we're going to bounce our knees again. And we'll lift the knees. We'll rotate from the ankles, so pivoting on our heels, both directions. And let's drag the heels a bit closer, bring the knees up a bit, and just play with where this is. We'll just keep the knees together or close together, and just this easy side to side. Not too fast, right? Because we want the low back to be able to react, to release. Okay, and then next time the knees are up, just pausing there, just reposition the legs. Now this time we'll bring the left leg in front, and then we'll bring the right in. So reminding ourselves to work for the feet in the area of the knees rather than pulling the feet into the core. And we'll put the weight of the hands on the knees. We'll take our length up the back body. A nice in-breath. So we float up the chest. Taking our time, we'll use an out-breath and reach down with our breath into the belly, moving it in towards the spine. And with that energy, see if we can adjust the tailbone just a couple of millimeters even. And now we're going to begin by circling the whole torso. You can explore both directions. And then easing into center, so smaller and smaller circles. And coming tall when you're still. So we want to keep the weight of the arms resting on the knees. And then we're going to begin another circle at our diaphragm. using both directions. Keeping the weight of the arms rested down. And let's return to neutral when we're ready here. Just easing ourselves into center, taking length up the back body. And really give the upper back some attention, reaching up along the neck. And when you lengthen in the upper back, balance down in the hips with a little bit of tuck at the tailbone. And we'll see if we can keep the spine tall as we work with the shoulders. Doesn't have to be big. Let the shoulder blades move, and see if we can release the weight of the arms. We don't need to have the arms do anything, so they'll do a little something, but we're not trying to do that. We're just working with shoulders and shoulder blades. And then let's come neutral, just allowing the arms, shoulders to release, coming tall from the inside. And we're going to rotate side to side. So let's begin turning to the left. Have the inhale float the arms up. So left fingertips behind, right in front. Use the arms, the shoulders to help us turn a bit. Keep the tailbone tucked. In-breath is forward. Out-breath, other side. So when we go right, let's have that be our last side. And when we're in neutral, we'll just land the fingertips out to the side. Taking the time to feel our length, lifting up along the neck. Position the ears in line with the shoulders. And we're going to reach side to side. So starting with the right arm, bringing it up, left palm is flat, equal weight in the sit bones. As we go to the left, now bend the elbow a little more, turn the palm upward, and just gently reach outward through the palm. Inhale to come tall, switching sides. So we'll let the left arm be our last side. And we'll take a moment to find our center. Now go towards our knee. So with the in-breath, raising the arms up, starting left on the out-breath. So let's end when we go to the right knee. And simply being tall. Now on the in-breath, we'll bring the arms forward and up about shoulder width, starting with the fingers up, push into the palms, move the shoulders forward, but stay vertical, rotating the arms, pressing out again. We'll go towards our left. So turning the torso left, pull the left elbow back and up, push in the right palm, and then smoothly switching sides. And being in touch with the sit bones, keeping balanced as we flow. And when we rotate to the right, there's our last side. And from the right, just easing forward. So we'll keep the arms out. We'll turn the palms down. We'll pull the elbows back. We'll squeeze the arms and shoulder blades. We'll lift the shoulders, release the head back, and really bring the backs of the shoulders up to meet the head. Rest the head back, lift the heart. And then on the exhale, release the arms forward, make a big hoop with the arms, push the vertebra back, rounding the back. On the in-breath, reversing, coming tall, squeezing the arms back, lifting up the shoulders, resting the back of the head. And reversing. And our last one. And reversing when we're ready. It's just like we're reaching around a big barrel. And then for the inhale, come tall and just allow the palms to touch. Float the arms up. Reach up through the fingertips. Get the shoulder blades to lift. Have the ears between the upper arms. Place the head above the hips. And we need an exhale. We're going to land our palms, slide the hands forward. And drawing in and up as we breathe in. Now, next time we're out long, we'll just pause for a couple more breaths. And then let's come up as we breathe in and just end up resting the palms on the knees. And we'll just take a moment to feel inside and just experience what we've woken up and our ability to be tall, to be centered. Okay. So we'll take the hands out to the sides. We'll lean back. Let's work the legs out, keeping some weight in the hands. We'll just lightly bounce on the legs. And we'll get a few circles out of the ankles to see where the legs want to go for these circles, playing around a bit. And then just slide the legs in so they're parallel. Lean forward, put the palms flat under the legs, under the thighs, and we'll add some weight on the forearms. So allowing ourselves to melt forward, releasing the upper back, the lower back. And then let's pull the knees up. So we get the hands out, take the arms out to the sides, pull the feet apart, the knees in. And then we're going to ease the legs side to side. So when you get the legs to the right, just come up taller. We'll take the left hand away and we'll bring the left hand over somewhere near the right knee, and we'll just turn comfortably around toward the right. And leading with the left hand, bring the knees up, travel to the left, right hand comes over to the left side, and just an easy turn. Now, when we go to the right side, let's exhale down between the knees. So bring both hands out in front, take an easy angle, releasing down, coming up with the in-breath. Over to the other side. So going left is going to be our last time. From the left side, we'll stay forward. We'll extend the legs out parallel with the knees up. And we're going to bring our palms on the mat under the thighs and gently adding some weight onto the forearms, relaxing down the back. And let's lift the knees again. We'll bring the hands out. So lean back, pull the feet in, drop the right leg over to the right. So left knee's still up for a moment, and we're going to use the left hand and see if we can guide the left foot back. And just adjust where this leg is, if you can get a comfortable seat here. So we do want a bit of contact here through the right hand as we feel our way into the sit bones, into this whole left hip. We want to see if we can release it, let it relax a little bit. So when we're ready, we're going to take that left arm out and up. We'll look left. And then when we need our in-breath, sweep across and up. So we'll let that left hip rise up. So sweeping up, in-breath. Releasing back with the out-breath. And then in-breath is up. Now stay lifted on that hip. So we're reaching out. Now let that upper arm come up taller. We'll stay over to the right and we'll just draw a big circle with this upper arm. Now, next time that upper arm is in the air, just linger for a moment. And then we're going to take the upper arm back over to the left side. And as we do, we're going to bring ourselves tall and let that left arm touch. And now float the right arm up and just gently lean. Now we'll leave the left arm where it is. We'll come up with the right. And then exhaling. Now, as we lean and exhale towards the left, let the torso bend over so we can look at that left leg. And now we're going to let that upper arm land down just where we can, and not forcing, just melting. And then inhale up with the right. Take that right hand onto the ground. So leaning to the right, more, slide that right hand out, lean more. Just make sure you're comfortable on that right hip, lift the left knee, stretch the left leg out. Just give it a little shake, little wiggle, and then just see if you can have it rise and fall. And look down the leg. And then bend the knee, bring the knee forward, put the foot down, and we're neutral here. And we're going to bring the right up And we're going to take the palms underneath. We're going to lengthen the legs. And we'll just let ourselves melt forward, releasing in the back, in the arms and shoulders. And then float the knees up. So take the hands out, drag the legs in. We're going to put the left down in front. We're going to use that right hand just to help us get the right leg back. So we'll keep in touch with the left hand. And then we're going to go inside the hips. And we need to fine tune. So we want to make sure this right leg, we're comfortable in the hip, in the tailbone. And then when we're ready to, right arm out to the side, we'll look at it. And for the inhale, across and up, let the hip lift. Exhale back. And then when the arm reaches out, stay lifted. And then let's just draw a big circle with the arm. And then when the arm is lifted up, just pausing there, and then smoothly come tall, and we'll take the right palm back touching. And then when you're ready, bring the left arm up and ease over toward the right. Coming back up. As we ease over toward the right, also bend forward a little bit. We'll look down toward that right knee. Back up with the in-breath. And see if you can bring that left hand over and touch down just the fingertips or where it works. And just being easy with the body melting. And then inhale, we'll float back up. We'll let that left arm rise up. And then we'll land that left arm. And we're going to lean over toward the left, really sliding that arm out. Or if the shoulder's not comfortable, it might be a time to use the forearm. So we'll get ourselves into this position so we can get the right leg off the mat, stretch it out, and just watching the leg. And then bend the knee, just bring the knee forward, land the foot, sitting back up, releasing both legs, slide them out, take the hands underneath, bring some weight onto the forearms. And then float the knees up again, taking the arms out. And then drag the knees in. And we'll drop the knees towards the right. And we're going to come right down onto the forearm. So elbow below shoulder. We'll flatten the palm. Want to make sure we're in a comfortable place on the right hip. And we're simply going to lift that left knee. So in the beginning, just comfortably coming up. And then just exploring. Can we rotate up the leg to bring the foot flat? And just allowing this rotation. Okay, so when we put the foot down, the knee down, leave it there. We become a little lower, even just to change how we're using this right shoulder, and then looking for the place where we can lift the left foot. So we're allowing this rotation in the hip into the SI joint. Okay, our last one. And then we're going to go to the other side. So bring up the left knee, just drag the foot forward, and then coming tall, lean back, get both legs out, give them a little shake, and then bring the knees up, reach underneath, put the palms flat, ease the weight forward, release the back. And then bringing the knees up, dragging the feet in, taking the feet to the left. And again, we'll bring ourselves lower, and we're going to work now with the right knee. So we want to allow our torso to discover the movement. We're not just forcing the knee up, the foot flat. And so we'll do our last one. And then rest the knee down and maybe come a little lower. And we'll see if we can bring up the right foot. Knee stays on the mat. Okay. When the foot rests down, let's lift the knee, drag that right foot forward so we can sit ourselves up, release the left, legs parallel, palms under the thighs, and then bring some weight from the legs onto the forearms, relaxing the shoulders, shoulder blades, down our back. And then let's bring our knees up. Okay, we're going to drop the right leg over to the right. We're going to sweep the left leg back. And just carefully walk the leg back. And gently, we're going to turn this left hip toward the center, toward the mat. So walking the hands forward. Carefully with this long left leg, create a rotation where we're just gently turning the leg more into the ground. Look after that front leg. And then let's ease off. And so we turn forward, we bring the knee up, we bring both knees up, we drop the knees to the left, we extend the right leg. So front knee where it's comfortable, hands out forward, exploring with our back leg, right? We're gently rotating this back hip, the back leg toward the mat. So on the front leg, don't lift the hip. Let the hips stay down. And then let's release. So easing up, pulling the legs out in front. Last time, we're going to take the palms under the thighs, adding weight onto the forearms, releasing our back. And then let's bring the knees up and let's come from a seated posture and let's come onto tabletop, onto hands and knees. And just finding the place. And once we find a position here, just allowing the spine to move and just explore. Let's start today with some easy circles at the shoulders. So the upper back, moving forward, going low, lifting up again. And see if you can get the upper back to circle between the shoulders, playing with both directions. Keeping the arms long. We don't need to bend the elbows. And releasing the head and neck. They don't have to be held rigid in one place. And when we're ready, just coming still, we'll get the arms long, we'll lift the shoulders, we'll lift the whole spine up, and then extend the neck, loosen the head, and then we're going to let the hips move side to side. So as the hips go right, we look over toward the right shoulder, and the hips go left, we turn the head, we look at the left shoulder. And when the hips go to the side, they move over there and get a feeling of them kind of hooking up. And then let them swing a bit and hook up and over to the other side. And we match that motion along the spine into head and neck. And then let's come neutral and just flow into some easy cat and dog stretches. And then we'll come neutral again. And now we're going to slide that right knee forward up by the right wrist. Let the right foot go over onto the left side. And then we're going to ease back, walking that left leg back, sinking the hips down. And just see if we can comfortably extend that right leg. Or the left leg is back behind us. The right leg, it's important we're comfortable on the knee. And then listening to our body right now. Do we want to melt down onto our forearms? Do we want to lift up with the arms long? And letting the body tell us where it wants to be right now. We're going to have a moment at both, and we're just really figuring out which one we want to maybe emphasize a bit. And if you're up with arms long, then come down onto forearms. And as you come onto the forearms, see, we can melt a bit lower. So one of the jobs of our arms is to manage the amount of weight that we're feeling in that right hip socket. Want to keep the right hip socket, the right knee comfortable, and use the arms to give the support needed. And let's come tall again. So extending the arms, bring the palms flat, walk the hands into where they're comfortable, tuck the tailbone, lift the heart. And let the gaze go up for a moment. And then let's release. So we're going to change sides. We need to plant the hands where they can support us. We need to walk the back leg in and keep walking the back leg in until we can put weight on that back knee, release the front knee, and we're back in tabletop. And just some gentle movement for the torso. And we're going to switch sides. The left knee coming up by the wrist, the left foot over toward the hand, and then walking the right foot back. And whether we start tall or low, making sure we're comfortable through that left hip and knee. If we're tall, we want to see if we can find our ability to sink the tailbone. And then we're going to, if we're tall, we're going to come onto our forearms. Using the arms and shoulders to manage the weight that we may find on that left hip or left knee. Okay, let's use our hands. We'll lengthen the arms. We'll walk the hands in a bit. And just a breath here or two. Lift the heart, drop the hips, let the gaze go up. And then let's release from here. So when the hands can take weight, walk that back leg in. Come to the place where that back knee can take weight. And then release the front leg. So when you get to tabletop, just allow the back some easy flowing movement, exploring rotations and angles, side to side, up and down. And then let's change our position and come onto our back body. So knees bent and the feet flat, arms out to the sides. And use the legs and the core to place the sacrum flat. And let go in the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And lengthen along the neck. Now let's walk the feet closer to the hips, the knees close together. And then we'll roll onto either side. So once we're on the side, the lower arm just straight out from the shoulders. The upper leg, bring it up a bit higher so the knee can touch the ground. And then the upper foot, just hook it behind the lower leg. Upper arm, just support the head for a moment. And we'll turn the face toward the ceiling. And with the help of the upper arm, lower the head onto the mat. So just creating a little tuck at the tailbone. And then when you're ready, take the upper arm vertical, straight up for the ceiling. Flex the wrist, push up with the palm, spread the fingers, rotate the arm. And then bring the arm down by the ear. So push out with that upper arm. Get a little bit of tuck at the tailbone. And the lower arm, bend the elbow. Have the palm up toward the ceiling, the hand in line with the head. And we're going to use the eyes. Let's look down our top side, keeping the weight of the head on the ground. Now the upper arm, just ease it a little bit away from the ear. And then relax the upper arm, bend the elbow, draw the arm back to the torso, and then release onto the back body. And come flat on the back. Take a moment to balance the sacrum, release the shoulder blades, rest the head. And then let's travel to the other side. So rolling onto the side. So start with that upper arm, supporting the head, lower arm out from the shoulder. Lower knee moves down, upper knee comes up and touches the ground. And then upper foot hooking behind the left leg. And then with the help of the upper arm, bringing the head down onto the ground, face toward the ceiling. And then let's take the upper arm vertical, spread the fingers, pushing up in the palm, rotate the whole arm, pressing up, bring the arm by the ear, pressing out, and then connect to the tailbone, a little bit of tuck. Use the eyes, look down the top side. The lower arm bending the elbow, palm stays up toward the ceiling. And let's move the upper arm away from the ear. And let's relax the upper arm. Bend the elbow, draw the arm back to the torso, and then come onto the back body. So we'll place the arms comfortably on the ground. Start with the feet flat here. Release the back body. And then take the knees wide. Make contact with the outside edges of the feet. Flatten the sacrum. Release the back. And then scrape down the edges of the feet to extend the legs. And simply resting the weight of the body on the ground. Resting the attention on the breath. And move again through our fingers and our toes, moving in our ankles, in our wrists. And then working down the arms, down the legs. So we can reach out with our arms, stretch down the legs. And here, work on lengthening in the back body. And when you get an exhale, drawing the legs in, holding the knees and rocking gently. And then we'll get ourselves onto either side, just rolling over, coming up to sitting.